Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about Career of Evil by J.K. Rowling, aka Robert Galbraith. This is the third book in the Cormoran Strike series, and I gotta say, this is probably my favorite one yet. Like, the first one was okay, the second one was pretty good, and, this one was awesome. It just gets progressively better, which is good. It's better than the other way around, which just gets progressively worse. But you could, it's very strange because it's a different genre from Harry Potter, but you could definitely, when you realize J.K. Rowling wrote it, you could definitely realize it's very similar, both in terms of, I guess, plotting and characters. I guess it's just written for a more adult audience. But yeah, very well written. Rowling, it's an amazing author. She definitely knows her shit. She knows how to do it. So, good job. I think the reason I enjoyed this novel a lot was because the villain was directly tied to Strike himself. While the first two novels was kind of like not related to Strike and then he gets involved, this one starts off, you know, um, with Strike and Robin as the potential victims. So it was really interesting, like the full scene when I realized he was stalking Robin. Hey, that rhymes. Stalking Robin, kind of. Um, I was like, oh shit, this is gonna be awesome. It just cut me off guard. It's really cool. And also, what was cool is there was like different suspects, and I really didn't know which one it was gonna be. You had the guy, the criminal guy who mailed several body parts. And he went to prison after Strike testified against him. You had the uh, you had the veteran slash pedophile who Strike also took to prison. You have um, you have the guy from the Border Regiment who Strike also arrested for abusing his wife and kid. And you have Strike's stepfather who may or may not have killed Strike's mom, and it was just very unpredictable, because all four of these guys would have a reason to see Strike behind balls, and I really liked it. It was cool, and I feel like this novel is slightly longer than the other two, but I could just be misremembering. It took me a little bit longer to read it, so maybe I don't know. Maybe I was just busy. It felt longer. That's what I'm saying. And I like how focus each suspect got. It was very complex, which I felt like was missing from a lot of Sherlock stories because most of them were just short stories. This is like a full-length novel, longer than any Sherlock story. So you really got to delve deep, and as a result, get into the personal lives of Strike and Robin. We talk about the trauma they both suffered when they were teenagers. Strike was like a college student, and how her rape and her boyfriend Matthew slash husband now being there for her kind of makes her feel like she's like indebted to him, or like he's like the best she could do. That whole thing, very complex. You realize like why she's with this guy, even though at this point, after finding out that he cheated on her, why she married him anyway, I'm still a little bit confused about, because she could obviously do better, though she doesn't think she could, because she has like kind of low confidence sometimes. Um, but yeah, Matthew in this book was an asshole. I hate him so much. Like in the first two, he was like just kind of the annoying fiance, jealous, but like now he's just like an asshole. Like he's like crossed the line. Um, I bet he's still cheating on her. Like I bet we're gonna find out on book four. I don't know. He just seems like the type, just very pompous and arrogant. um, and also we find out about Strike and his past, and how about how his mother's overdose influenced him to join the army. So a lot of good backstory and character development for the two of them. Strike didn't like that Robin put herself in danger after he specifically told him not to, so he fired her, and he kind of felt bad about it, so he met her at the wedding at the end, which was very sweet, and shows that Robin was just so happy to see him, happier to see him than she was to like get married to Matthew to begin with. So I don't know. It's kind of like a will they won't they between Strike and Robin. I don't really care either way. It's just kind of interesting to follow, if they will or they won't. But I hope Matthew gets dumped in the next book because he's like awful. Also, I've been watching like the TV show Strike on HBO Max, and it's a very good adaptation. I feel like they cut out too much from the books though. Like all the episodes are between 2 and 3 episodes long, which honestly, they could be like 6 or 7, and it would have been better for it. But you know, it's the BBC. But I will say the actors who play Strike and Robin are the best part of the show for me. They have like really good chemistry. So I know this video isn't really talking about the TV show, but I wanted to mention that. Like I'm doing the same thing I do to The Expanse, where like I read the book, watch the season it's based on, rinse and repeat. So yeah, I just thought I'd mention pretty good adaptation, but could have longer seasons. I also like the character of Shanko because he kind of like helps out Strike and Robin independently. Like he doesn't really care. He just wants money, so you gotta respect that. But even he has some like he's not two dimensional. He obviously cared a lot about Strike's mom because he took him in when he was homeless. So like you kind of have that connection between him and Strike. So that's very sweet. Like I feel like besides like the serial killers and Matthew, um, everybody like in the book is very just like they have good qualities to them that make you like them. But this is Rowling. She's really good at doing that. So honestly, that is everything I have to say about this book. Really, better than the first two. Not that I didn't like the first two, but this one is just better. I'm excited to be reading Lethal White. I'll be reading that in March, so expect a video about that in either late March, early April. I think that book's a bit longer, so it might take me a bit more time. But yeah, I think she's doing a thing what she did with Harry Potter was like starting with book 4, the books get huge, which I'm all for. The more complex, the better. Except if we're talking about Inception, that movie sucks. So thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, peace.